Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance, and we had a fun week. Of course, we have the Discover category for the next quarter to take a look at. American Express in the news because they are killing Lounge Buddy app, and very interesting, we had a Wells Fargo credit card drop, a new one that we had no rumors or intel on, which makes it that much more fun. It's like the good old days when you had Apple events and you had no idea what is coming, except I'm going to tell you what's already here. So, of course, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we will start lead off here with Discover. You know the deal. Discover announces their categories for the next quarter a month in advance, which is somewhat nice, but again, they used to tell us much earlier, but you see it on screen. So again, you're going to get grocery stores and Walmart, which Walmart could be nice. We know the Walmart Capital One card is going away. Of course, that card will probably still give you Walmart access through, this coming quarter. Is going to take them a while to figure out how that breakup works. But again, grocery stores, Walmart, we don't need to spend a ton of time here. I think this is very easy to hit organically. I have finally picked up the Discover card myself, so I've got that in the arsenal too. So I will again, it's easy to use organically, but of course they do sell gift cards. So I wouldn't worry too much there. Now, on to an interesting story from the world of American Express. American Express and eBay are feuding, no longer getting along because eBay has announced they are dropping American Express as an accepted payment network, wouldn't you guess, because of their high processing fees. So I just found this fascinating. If we take a look at this, I pulled this down from The Verge. This is going to start on August 17th. Of course, as we said, they blame the charges on quote, unacceptably high fees for American Express card transactions. Here we have a quote here. Credit card transaction fees continue to rise unabated because of a lack of meaningful competition. eBay writes in a notice to customers, there is a need for more robust regulations to drive greater competition to credit card networks and help reduce transaction processing costs. eBay still accepts Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and other payment methods like, of course, PayPal, their old brother, Apple Pay, Google, Venmo, all the deals. Of course, Amex disagrees with this, and overall, they say we find eBay's decision to drop American Express as a payment choice for consumers to be inconsistent with their stated desire to increase competition as the point of sale. The company writes, it says eBay represents less than 0.2% of its total network volume. There are some other quotes out there that said that, Amex's claim is always that, hey, the Amex shopper buys more, has a larger card at checkout, and that makes up for it. Maybe and maybe not. This story is just kind of funny because both of them kind of said F you, no go F you, and they're kind of split, and I don't really think they'll be back. eBay seems fine. The irony is the eBay fees are so high on the buyer and the seller side now, it seems. Maybe on the seller side more so, but eBay used to be the place to go. Like, even if you could buy something in the store, you'd still go to eBay. But that ship has long since sailed because the fees are so high, which of course make the price higher. So it's just kind of funny there. But I mean, again, if that's eBay's, they're saying, hey, this is less than 0.2. I don't think they're going to be back anytime soon. It's likely they may try to negotiate some kind of deal. I do wonder if we're going to see others start to do this. Of course, we saw the Amazon. I think it was back in the UK where they were mad at Visa. Amazon probably a little bit bigger than eBay, but eBay's still sizable. So that is interesting. I don't think you can actually you might be able to run the card if you still load it into PayPal. That probably should still work. I've done that in my car insurance before where they didn't take Amex directly, but I loaded it into, PayPal and it worked. There's no multiplier loss or anything like that because there's no multiplier benefits for online for Amex. So there you go. Found it interesting. But American Express wasn't done because to get over this hurt, they are now going to cut their Lounge Buddy app. We've talked about Lounge Buddy app long time ago on the show, but Lounge Buddy is a service owned by American Express that allows you to kind of like buy day passes to certain lounge. Of course, there was a standalone app. Now, standalone app is going away. So what they said, as of July 1st, this year, Lounge Buddy iOS mobile app will no longer be accessible. American Express card members can still purchase lounge access with Lounge Buddy through the Lounge Buddy website. So there you go. You've got the website. I would have thought they would try to roll it into Amex Travel or into the app because it's just like, it's one of those things where, maybe some people are really on top of it and you're buying passes ahead of time because you've got a connecting or a delay or what have you. But most people, I would imagine you're in the airport and you're like, oh man, I'm delayed. Let me come pull this up and buy a lounge pass. It's easier to do it in an app, I would imagine, than pulling up the website. Not impossible, but apps are generally easier for mobile stuff, as you know. So it could be just American Express, like, hey, we're not getting a lot of traffic on this. I don't know if it's super popular. They wanted to pull support, one less thing they have to put resources behind. We can simply have it live on the website. I could also see them, again, rolling it into Amex Travel and trying to pitch it as a benefit. Maybe because I really don't know what they want to do with Lounge Buddy. You know, it doesn't get a ton of love. It doesn't really get talked about. The green card, of course, has the Lounge Buddy credits. I could see them potentially expanding Lounge Buddy credits to the gold card. You know, the gold card was kind of a borderline travel card for a while till they had its last refresh. Didn't see a price hike. They just added like the Uber benefit. They changed around the restaurant deal and the Uber thing. But I could see them potentially doing that to try to push it more, because you really don't see too much about Lounge Buddy out there. But I also wonder what the viability is really like, considering all these lounges are cracking down. I mean, you know, you're not going to be able to buy passes to like a Sky Club or, you know, things like that. There are some airport lounges or airline lounges on there, but it's mostly like priority pass stuff anyways. But again, if everyone is fighting for overcrowding, you know, do I really want to be selling day passes on Lounge Buddy? So I don't know. I think this one either the Amex might try to breathe life into it one more time by kind of spinning it as an exclusive benefit on the website you can use maybe for card holders, or it could just kind of fade away because it's no longer really viable with them having to, you know, restructure the lounge model to make them seem premium again. And, you know, you're kind of undermining yourself a little bit. If I can sell passes here, but I'd much rather sell you the credit card. It's more expensive and locks you in. So I could kind of see it going away. So I don't really know. I'm torn between those two. So let me know what you think. And of course, how did you use Lounge Buddy down below? That would also be helpful to know. But we have another passing to note. It sounded more morbid than it needed to. Curve Card. Curve Card launched in the U.S. Now, technically, they had it on beta. It was the credit. It's not so much a credit card, but I do think they were doing hard pulls. I think Adam from Proud Money did one, and it was a hard pull. It was kind of like the credit card to merge all your credit cards together and just act as one card. So it was kind of in beta here. It never really took off. They did send out a cancellation. We had a channel member send this, and of course, we've got the full deal on the website. But I'll put it up. Of course, you know, they go on to say, hey, basically, since launching, you know, we don't need to read all this stuff. Basically, what they're saying is, the notes here is, we will be back soon with a brand new Curve wallet and Curve card offering with even better benefits and building on our huge success to date with millions of customers worldwide. Worldwide makes sense because it was much bigger in Europe. Again, even the top of this email says, you know, a beta test, right? If you will. I think it's kind of a hedge, honestly. So again, if you're getting this canceled, then you'll shortly receive communication from the bank behind it about the termination of the existing card and what it means for you. If they do have a what does it mean for you section. So as we make the transition, we will be terminating Curve account at Hatch effective July 8th. So there you go. It's going to be out the door. So they will be back at some point. You know, it was just tough because in the States, they only had MasterCard on board. And I don't really think you need Discover, honestly. I know the Discover Capital One deal. I do believe the Discover Payment Network will expand. That's probably a year or two away, if anything. I mean, it hasn't even gone through regulatory approval, so I don't think that's like imminent. American Express, I don't know. They're never going to do this. I don't think they care. And people who have American Express cards, I don't know if they even care about Curve, honestly. You needed Visa, so not having Visa makes it really hard for acceptance. And number two, Visa, we talked about Visa's new roadmap, product roadmap, I don't know, could have been 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now maybe. And Visa was talking about doing similar thing where at least by bank, you know, I have like Chase cards, I have 5 Freedom cards where they could combine them all into one single card, one card to rule them all, which is essentially what Curve was doing. Of course, Curve would let you go cross bank. I can't imagine Chase is going to be like, yeah, sure, put all your Bank of America cards with our cards on one card. That's probably not going to happen. But that's also not really that big of a deal to anyone except for us, so that's kind of a non-issue. The other thing about Curve is like, who is this really for? This really seems like it's only for people like us. The average person, 2-3 credit cards maybe, they can usually remember, and if they use the wrong one, they usually don't care as much. So I was rooting for it. I mean, I'd love to see them come back in another iteration. I just don't know what they're going to, I guess, be able to do differently to attract the audience that they want, especially if Visa does go through with this, because you got to imagine if Visa does it, MasterCard's going to have to do it next. Again, Discover and American Express, they're kind of just doing their own thing. I don't really think they would try to respond with a, hey, you can put all your cards in one. And why would the payment networks want to cooperate if they're clearly building out their roadmap and trying to do their own thing? So I think showing up again is going to be even harder, but we did have some folks using Curve, so let me know down below what you thought of it and what you want to see come back. Of course, thank you to our channel member who sent this in, and if you want to be a channel member like him, well, then there's the join button down below. It's our Discord share between this channel and the main channel, where we kind of just bring together the best bonus hunters in the game to refer each other, use your links and videos and blog posts and that kind of thing. But the story that was most exciting is Wells Fargo, because it's very rare that a credit card gets dropped from a major bank, a Power 5 bank, and we have no rumors or no heads up or anything like that. I mean, the Journey cards we talked about for a long time. We found the trademarks, and it was someone found the trademarks, the same with Estrada and Estrada Elite. But Wells Fargo's out with a new card, and I think it's a lot better than people are saying it is, but let's take a look at it. So you have the Attune card. It kind of follows the same design, their gradient design. I think it looks fairly nice, but the headlines here, no annual fee, which is always nice. It is a cashback focused card. You're looking at 4 back on self-care, 4 back on select sports and recreation entertainment, 4 back on impactful purchases, 1 back on all purchases, and it does have level cell phone protection. We'll revisit those multipliers in a second. Your intro offer is going to be spend $500 in the first 3 months to get $100 cash rewards. So again, it is a cash card. I mean, the fun part of these categories, they're at 4X, and on the surface, they're kind of misleading, because if you go down through them, like self-care sounds weird, but the examples they're giving are beauty supply and barbershops, and gym memberships, health and beauty spas. So that's helpful stuff that you don't see all the time at 4X. The same things with sports, recreation, entertainment. I mean, again, kind of misleading, but there's pet care under there. Create and collect is a category, like camera stores, game shops. The camera stuff is expensive, so these could definitely work out for some people. GoPro is listed as an example. Lego store. I know I've come across some of those Lego videos, and those things, those builds are cool, and they get expensive. And then again, planet friendly. Seems a little misleading, but again, EV charging is probably the hot one there, but bus lines, passenger railways, other transportation services. So overall, again, kind of niche, but underneath, these categories are actually pretty interesting, I think. We'll cover this in a bonus video soon on the second channel. This is such an interesting card. You wouldn't think there's so much to say about it, but I think there is, because on one hand, I'm like, who are they going to sell this to, right? If you were just an average person, I'd probably just say get the active cash and you'd be fine. These are very niche categories. So I don't know who this is for from a mainstream consumer perspective, but I'm super happy this exists, because there's someone out there, many of you maybe, who are like, this is the missing card. Because when you do this like we do, as you know, you end up with 20 cards, 30 cards, whatever it may be. But there's always that niche category that you want to improve and strengthen, move from 2X to 4X. And this is going to let a lot of people do that. So I'm not going to apply for this, because they've denied me for the Signify, they've denied me for the Journey. I'd be denied for this. But, if I look at my own setup, well, my Cash Plus card is used for my gym membership at 5X back. But really, that's not the best use of a 5X card, because my gym membership is $30 a month. So yes, it's 5%, but considering the Cash Plus is a choose your own adventure card of 2 categories up to $2,500 a month, or a quarter, in combined spend, arguably you could find a better use for the Cash Plus. Utilities is usually another one people go to, and that's what I use, because you just can't find utilities elsewhere. So be it. So it would probably make more sense to grab the Attune, swap it into gyms at 4X. Sure, you lose a point, but you gain more flexibility using the Cash Plus elsewhere. That's how I look at it in my personal setup. EV charging, another big one. I think that's going to start to become more common. But we've got a lot more EV options. Rivian, I think, is getting ready to launch their second version. Ford's now taking it somewhat more seriously. It seems GM changed the logo for it. You get the point. You see the news. So I think this is a good card. I also think it's interesting that Wells Fargo is staying away from all the major categories. They in the autograph line, they do compete in some of the major categories. I don't want to misrepresent there, but with the 5% cards, they're not going after the main things, right? They're saying, hey, we've got other categories that you can't get anyplace else, which is a selling point. Again, it's a good selling point. I just don't know who they're selling it to. Mainstream. That's my question. But overall, I think it's really easy to overlook this card, but I'm happy it exists because someone out there, hopefully many of you, like this is going to be the missing piece to your credit card setup, and I think that's fantastic. I do think it's, again, more competitive than it seems, more interesting than it seems, so I like what we're seeing out of Wells Fargo. I think this is a good addition, a weird addition, but a good addition. I think I've made my case. If you want more info on the intro offer, again, we will cover it on Run on the Bank for you, because we still want all the money. But anyways, guys, that has been the news for this week. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel, because we're posting content just like this every single week. And right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And, of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com. We have the latest news stories just like this. We have plenty of bank promotions. I know we have one for Wells Fargo, so if you want to double up, you might as well. They have a checking and a savings one over there. And, of course, we have credit card offers. We don't have the Attune, but we do have the Sapphire offers, which, in case everyone hasn't told you, they are ending soon. So if you want those and don't want to go to a branch, well, we've got you covered over there as well. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.